Liam sat in the cockpit of his small spacecraft, staring at the endless stars outside the window. He had traveled for months across the silent darkness of space, following coordinates that no human had ever reached before. The planet ahead was a swirl of greens and blues, glowing faintly as if it held secrets waiting to be discovered. He felt a mix of excitement and fear. He had trained for years for exploration, but nothing had prepared him for what he was about to face. The ship began its descent. Liam guided it carefully through clouds of sparkling mist that hung over the planet's surface. Below him, enormous trees with translucent leaves stretched as far as he could see. Strange animals, glowing faintly, moved in the shadows of the forests. Liam's heart raced. He had read about alien ecosystems in books, but seeing one alive before him was something entirely different. Every moment felt like stepping into a dream he did not want to end. Finally, his ship landed on a smooth, open plain surrounded by towering crystals. Their surfaces reflected light in colors Liam had never seen before, shimmering like a rainbow frozen in stone. The ground beneath him vibrated slightly, as though the crystals themselves were alive. He stepped out of the ship, his boots crunching on the crystal dust, and looked up at the horizon. Rising above everything else was a palace made entirely of crystal. Its towers reached high into the sky, and its walls glowed faintly with an inner light. Liam could feel a strange energy coming from the palace, almost like it was aware of him. As he approached cautiously, the palace doors opened. Standing in the doorway was a figure that made him stop in his tracks. She was taller than any human, with skin that shimmered like polished metal. Her eyes were bright, almost glowing, and her movements were precise and commanding. She wore robes that flowed like liquid silver. Liam knew instantly that this was Zara, the alien queen, spoken of in legend and whispered across human colonies as a ruler of incredible power and intelligence. Zara looked at him with sharp eyes and her expression twisted into anger. "Why don't you leave me alone?" she yelled. Her voice was powerful, echoing across the plain, and it carried authority and warning. Liam felt a shiver run down his spine. He had expected curiosity or fear, but not this level of fury. I don't mean any harm," Liam said, raising his hand slightly in a gesture of peace. "I am here to explore and learn. I come from a planet called Earth. I am not here to take anything. I only want to understand." Zara's eyes narrowed. She studied him carefully, her guards flanking her silently. Their presence made Liam realize how different this world was. Every motion, every detail seemed deliberate. Her guards had sharp, angular features and carried weapons that hummed with energy. They watched him like predators waiting for a signal. Liam understood that one wrong move could provoke a deadly reaction. "You humans are reckless," Zara said. "You do not understand the consequences of stepping into another world. My people have lived here for thousands of cycles, in harmony with the crystals and the forests. You cannot simply arrive and demand knowledge." Liam nodded, choosing his words carefully. "I understand. That is why I came peacefully. I want to learn. I want to see how your people live and how I can share knowledge without causing harm. I believe humans can learn from your ways, just as I hope you might see the good in us." For a long moment, Zara said nothing. Liam felt the silence stretch like the space he had crossed to reach her planet. He looked around at the palace, at the vast plains, and at the glowing trees. Everything here was alive in ways humans had not yet fully understood. The crystals seemed to pulse as if they were aware of his presence. The air had a faint hum, and Liam could feel it in his chest, like an energy he could almost touch. Finally, Zara spoke again. "You speak well, human, but words are easy. Actions are what matter. Many before you have come, and they left chaos in their wake. How can I trust you will not do the same?" Liam thought for a moment. He remembered his training, the countless lessons in diplomacy, patience, and observation. "I cannot make you trust me immediately. I can only show you. If you allow me to stay, I will follow your rules. I will observe. I will not interfere. I will prove that I am not like the others. Zara tilted her head, her glowing eyes examining him in a way that felt as if she could see into his very thoughts. For the first time, Liam noticed a flicker of curiosity behind her anger. He realized that she was not just a ruler but also a guardian. Her anger was born from responsibility, not cruelty. She had to protect her people from beings she had no reason to trust. Before she could respond, a sudden rumble shook the ground. Liam looked around and saw the edges of the crystal forest quivering as a wave of energy ran through the landscape. Small creatures scuttled in panic, and the leaves of the giant trees shimmered violently. Liam grabbed his communicator. "Queen Zara, what is happening?" Zara's face turned serious. "An energy storm. It occurs rarely, but when it does, it is dangerous. Stay close, human. You will need guidance to survive this." Without hesitation, Liam followed her into the palace. The doors closed behind him, and the warmth of the interior contrasted with the strange, vibrating air outside. He looked around in awe. The palace was enormous, with halls that curved in impossible ways and walls that glowed faintly from the energy of the crystals embedded in them. He felt as if he had stepped into another dimension entirely. Zara led him to a chamber overlooking the plains. "Here, you are safe. Watch and learn. The storm will show itself soon." Liam watched through the transparent walls as streaks of colored energy danced across the sky, touching the trees and crystals in patterns he could not comprehend. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. He realized that he had entered a world where survival depended not on strength alone but on understanding and respect. For the first time, he understood why Zara had yelled at him. His presence, even with good intentions, was an intrusion into a world that was finely balanced and fragile. Yet he also felt hope. If he could learn from her, and she could see the truth in his actions, perhaps humans and Zara's people could one day find common ground. The storm intensified, painting the sky with colors that Liam could not name. He felt the power of the planet, the living energy of the crystals, and the weight of Zara's gaze upon him. He knew that this was only the beginning of his journey, and that every choice he made from this moment forward would determine the future of two worlds. Liam took a deep breath. He was far from home, facing a ruler unlike any he had known, in a world beyond imagination. But he also knew that courage and respect might be the keys to surviving, learning, and perhaps changing the course of history. The storm raged across the plains, sending waves of colored energy that shimmered over the crystal forests. Liam stood behind the transparent walls of Zara's palace, feeling the vibrations in the ground as if the planet itself were alive. Outside, the sky glowed with a mixture of blues, purples, and oranges. Each flash illuminated the enormous trees and strange creatures running for cover. The scene was both frightening and mesmerizing. Zara stood beside him, her expression serious. She had calmed slightly from her earlier fury, but her eyes remained sharp. "Do you understand why I warned you to leave?" she asked. Liam nodded. "Yes, Queen Zara. I can see now. Your world is delicate. I did not realize the energy storms were so powerful. I promise to follow your rules. I want to observe, not interfere." She studied him for a long moment. Her guards shifted slightly behind her, their weapons glowing faintly, ready to act if needed. Zara finally said, "Words are easy, human. Actions matter. If you wish to stay, you must prove that you can respect my people and my planet. Otherwise, you will leave when the storm passes." "I understand," Liam said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Please, tell me what I can do." Zara gestured toward the courtyard below. "Go there. The smaller creatures are frightened by the storm. Help them. Show that you can act without harming anyone. Then we will see if you are worthy of trust." Liam swallowed his fear. Stepping carefully into the storm, he felt the vibrations under his feet grow stronger. Lightning-like streaks of energy danced across the skies, and the wind carried faint hums from the crystals. Yet, he focused on the creatures below, small, glowing beings with delicate limbs and curious eyes. Many of them had become trapped between crystal clusters or were trying to flee the energy bursts. He moved quickly, lifting fallen creatures and carrying them to safe areas. Some of them climbed onto his arms, trusting him despite the chaos. Liam marveled at their trust and tried not to falter under the storm's intensity. With each careful action, he felt a small connection to this world. It was fragile, alive, and in need of respect. From the palace, Zara watched him closely. Her sharp eyes followed every movement. At first, she was suspicious, waiting for a mistake, but as minutes passed, she began to notice the care and patience in his actions. Liam did not panic. He did not try to control the creatures. He only helped, guided by respect rather than fear or ambition. Interesting, Zara murmured to herself. Perhaps humans are not all reckless. When the storm reached its peak, Liam noticed a cluster of young creatures trapped on a crystalline ridge. Energy bursts were striking dangerously close. Without hesitation, he climbed carefully, lifting each creature one by one. At that moment, a sudden surge of crystal energy shot from the ridge, striking near him and shaking the ground. Liam stumbled but did not fall. He managed to bring the last creature to safety. The storm began to fade slowly, leaving the plains shimmering with residual energy. The creatures he had saved wandered freely, some pausing to glance at him as if acknowledging his help. Liam stood panting, his body tired, but his heart was light. He had survived the storm, and more importantly, he had acted with care and respect. Zara descended the stairs of her palace, her steps measured and deliberate. Her guards flanked her, still alert, but she did not speak harshly this time. "You survived the storm and acted with patience," she said, her voice steady. "Few outsiders would do so. Many would panic or attempt to control the creatures, causing harm. You acted differently." Liam bowed slightly. "I only wanted to help. Your world is incredible, Queen Zara. I want to learn from it, not harm it." She studied him silently for a few moments, then nodded once. "Very well. You may stay, for now. But know this, human, my patience has limits. One mistake could cost you dearly. Understand that my people's safety comes first, always." "I understand completely," Liam said. "I will follow your guidance and respect your rules." Zara motioned for him to follow her into the palace halls. "Come. I will show you more, but you must observe and not interfere unless asked. You will learn that understanding comes from watching and listening, not rushing to act." Inside, the palace was like a living organism. The walls glowed with subtle light, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. Crystal filaments ran through the floors and ceilings, humming faintly. Liam felt a strange calmness here, unlike the energy storm outside. He realized that Zara's people had built their home in harmony with the planet itself, using the energy without disturbing it. Zara led him through vast halls, each more beautiful than the last. In some rooms, crystals formed natural patterns that amplified light and sound. In others, small creatures moved freely, unaffected by the human's presence. Liam noticed how every design seemed purposeful, functional, and respectful of life. "Your people live with the planet," Liam said softly. "It is amazing how everything works together." Zara glanced at him. "We do not take lightly the balance of our world. Every life has meaning, and every action has consequence. That is why outsiders often fail here. They act without thinking. Humans often do the same, do they not?" Liam nodded. "Some humans do, but not all. I hope my actions here can show that humans are capable of learning and respecting other life forms." She considered his words, then paused. Perhaps. But you have much to prove. Learning is not enough. You must show understanding through action, thought, and patience. Only then can we begin to trust you fully. They walked into a chamber with a wide view of the plains. The aftermath of the storm was visible. The energy left the crystals shimmering brightly, the forest breathing in waves of light. Liam realized that despite the danger, the storm had revealed the true beauty of the planet. He felt honored to witness it and humbled by the responsibility of being an outsider in such a world. Tomorrow, Zara said, you will begin your first task. You will help with the energy crystals. That is a test of patience, observation, and care. Succeed, and you will earn the right to learn more about our people. Fail, and you will be sent home. Liam nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. I will do my best, Queen Zara. I want to learn everything I can without causing harm. Zara's expression softened slightly, though her eyes remained sharp. Then prepare yourself, human. Your journey is only beginning, and it will not be easy. But those who respect life, who act with thought and care, may discover truths beyond imagination. As Liam settled into the chamber for the night, he thought about the storm, the creatures, and the palace. He understood that survival here required more than courage, it required respect, intelligence, and patience. He also realized that this alien queen, fierce and commanding, could become his greatest teacher if he proved himself worthy. He closed his eyes and listened to the faint hum of the crystals, feeling the energy of the planet flow around him. It was a hum of life, power, and balance. Tomorrow, he would face his first true test under Zara's watchful eyes. The morning sun glowed softly over the crystal plains, casting rainbow colors across the landscape. Liam stepped out of his quarters in Zara's palace, feeling the fresh energy of the planet in the air. The storm from the previous day had left the world vibrant and alive. Crystals shimmered under the sunlight, and small creatures emerged from hiding, curious about the quiet. Liam was eager to begin his first official task, but he also felt nervous. Zara waited for him in the main hall. Her robes shimmered with light, and her expression was calm, though her eyes remained sharp. Today, you will learn how we work with the crystals, she said. It is not enough to observe. You must understand their energy, how it flows, and how it connects with life here. Many outsiders fail because they see only the surface. Liam nodded. I will do my best, Queen Zara. Please guide me. Zara led him to a large chamber filled with crystal formations of all sizes. The crystals pulsed with light, and faint hums filled the air. Each crystal has a purpose, Zara explained. Some store energy, others protect the forests, and some help our creatures live. You must handle them with care. One wrong touch can disrupt the balance. Liam approached a medium-sized crystal. He felt its energy vibrate gently in his hands. It was unlike anything he had experienced on Earth. It was alive, not in the way of flesh, but in the way of flowing energy. He lifted it slowly, feeling the currents move through his body. The hums grew louder, almost like a conversation. Zara observed silently, impressed by his patience. Unlike other humans, Liam did not rush. He felt the energy, moved carefully, and treated the crystal as something precious. You are learning, she said softly. Many outsiders would have forced the energy to obey, but you allow it to flow. That is the first lesson of our world. For hours, Liam followed Zara's instructions, moving crystals, adjusting their alignment, and observing their reactions. The work required focus, patience, and respect. He made no mistakes, and slowly, he began to feel a connection with the planet itself. It was as if the crystals were teaching him without words, showing him the rhythm of life here. During a break, Zara led Liam to a balcony overlooking the crystal forests. The view was breathtaking. The sunlight danced across the trees and crystals, casting patterns on the ground that shifted constantly. Small creatures played among the crystal formations, moving with grace and curiosity. "You see this?" Zara asked. "Every creature, every plant, every crystal is connected. One action can affect everything else. Outsiders often fail to understand this. They act for themselves, not for the world around them. That is why they leave chaos behind." Liam listened carefully. "I understand now, Queen Zara. On Earth, we often act without seeing the consequences. I hope I can show your people that humans can learn to respect life, just as I am learning here." Zara's eyes softened slightly, though her posture remained regal. "Actions speak louder than words, human. Your work with the crystals will show if your intentions are true. But even then, understanding our world fully is not simple. You must see more, learn more, and be patient." Over the next few days, Liam continued his work with the crystals. He learned to sense the subtle flows of energy, to adjust formations without causing harm, and to communicate silently with the smaller creatures through gentle movements and gestures. Each day, Zara watched closely, occasionally offering corrections or explanations. One afternoon, as Liam was adjusting a cluster of crystals near a water channel, he noticed a small creature trapped between two sharp formations. It chirped anxiously, unable to move. Liam carefully reached in, lifting the creature to safety. The creature circled him briefly, as if thanking him, and then scurried back into the forest. Zara appeared beside him quietly. "You did well," she said. "Notice how your actions affected the energy of the crystals. They are more stable now because you acted with care. That is the difference between a visitor and a student." Liam smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thank you, Queen Zara. I am beginning to understand. This world is incredible, and I want to protect it in every way I can." Zara studied him for a long moment. "You have shown patience, respect, and courage. Few outsiders possess even one of these qualities. You have all three. That is why I allow you to stay. Perhaps humans are not as reckless as I feared." For the first time, a sense of trust began to grow between them. Liam realized that Zara was not only a powerful ruler but also a teacher. Her fury from the first day had been a test, and now, through careful observation and action, he had started to earn her respect. Later, they walked through the crystal gardens, where enormous formations towered like trees and delicate flowers grew along the path. Small creatures darted among the plants, unafraid of Liam. He noticed how the light reflected in different ways through each crystal, creating patterns that seemed almost magical. "Your people live in harmony with this energy," Liam said softly. "It is beautiful how every life form has a purpose, and every action matters." Zara nodded. "We are guardians of this world. Our duty is to maintain balance, not to dominate. Many outsiders misunderstand this. They seek power, not harmony. That is why I watch you closely. You must prove that your intentions are true, not just in words, but in every action you take." As they continued, Liam realized that his own understanding of humanity had changed. He had come here expecting to study an alien world, but now he was learning about trust, patience, and the responsibility that came with power. Zara's world was teaching him lessons that Earth could not. By evening, Liam and Zara returned to the palace. The sun dipped behind the crystal forests, casting long shadows across the plains. The colors of the crystals shifted with the fading light, creating a serene, almost sacred atmosphere. Liam felt a deep sense of respect for this world and for Zara herself. "Tomorrow, you will begin a new task," Zara said. "It will test your ability to understand not only energy but also life. You will interact more closely with the creatures and see how your actions affect them. Your choices will matter. Do not take this lightly." "I understand, Queen Zara," Liam said. "I will do my best to honor your guidance and protect your world." Zara's gaze lingered on him, thoughtful. Your determination is clear. Perhaps humans can learn to respect life, after all. But remember, understanding is never complete. Every day brings new lessons, and mistakes can be costly. Watch, listen, and act with care. That is how trust is earned. As Liam prepared for rest, he reflected on the past days. The storm, the crystals, the creatures, and Zara herself had shown him a world where patience and respect were as powerful as courage and strength. He realized that this was only the beginning of a long journey, one that could change not only his life but the future of humanity's relationship with Zara's people. He closed his eyes and listened to the hum of the crystals through the palace walls. The energy of the planet pulsed gently, steady and calm now, as if acknowledging his efforts. Liam knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, but he also knew that he had taken the first step in earning trust and understanding a world far greater than he had ever imagined. Liam awoke to a soft, humming light that filtered through the crystal walls of Zara's palace. The morning air was calm, the storms from earlier days now only memories in the glowing plains outside. He stretched and prepared for his new task, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Yesterday, he had begun to understand the delicate balance of the crystals. Today, Zara had promised something more challenging. Liam, Zara's voice called from the hall. Come with me. There is something you must see. He followed her through the palace halls, noticing how the light danced on the crystal surfaces. Each step felt purposeful, as if the palace itself guided their movement. They reached a high observation platform overlooking the outer plains. From here, Liam could see the vast crystal forests stretching to the horizon, their tips sparkling in the sunlight. Yet, something caught his attention beyond the familiar landscape. Do you see those ships? Zara asked, her eyes scanning the distance. Liam followed her gaze and saw faint shapes hovering at the edge of the planet's atmosphere. At first, they seemed small and distant, but soon he realized they were enormous human spacecraft, unlike anything his team had brought. Those are human ships, he asked, surprised. Zara nodded grimly. Yes. They are not part of your mission, Liam. They come from Earth's military fleet. They do not know of this planet or its importance. Their intent is not exploration. They come seeking resources, unaware of the danger they could cause to my people and the crystals. Liam's heart sank. We must warn them, he said. But if they have weapons, it could be very dangerous. Zara's expression hardened. Exactly. That is why you must understand the consequences of human action. One mistake, one careless choice, and they could destroy everything we have worked to preserve. You see now why I was cautious with you before. Humans are clever, but sometimes reckless. Liam nodded. I will do whatever I can to help, Queen Zara. I do not want conflict between our people. Zara considered him for a moment, then spoke with determination. We have little time. They will reach the planet soon. We must plan carefully. You will assist me, but you must follow my guidance precisely. Any error could be catastrophic. For hours, they worked together to prepare the planet. Liam learned how Zara's people used the crystals to create defensive systems without harming the environment. They did not rely on weapons to attack but instead on clever manipulation of light, energy, and perception. Liam watched in awe as crystals amplified, refracted, and redirected light, creating illusions and barriers that could confuse intruders without violence. You must understand, Zara said as they worked, that our goal is not to destroy them but to protect life. The humans do not know better. If we act wisely, they will leave without harming the planet or my people. But if we act recklessly, they may retaliate. Liam nodded. I understand, Queen Zara. I will do my best to help. As the distant fleet approached, the planet's surface shimmered with energy. Zara moved through her guards and crystals with precision, giving commands that Liam struggled to follow at first. He realized that her strategies were not only about defense but also about teaching him patience, observation, and foresight. Every crystal, every beam of light, every reflection had a purpose. The first human ship broke through the atmosphere. Liam could see the hull shining brightly against the alien sky. The fleet followed, unaware of the energy fields around the planet. Liam felt a pang of fear. Despite his training and knowledge, he was still human, limited in understanding the technology and strategy that Zara's people used so naturally. Zara gestured toward a series of large crystals. Place these to redirect their sensors. Make them think the planet is uninhabited. Do not let them see us clearly. Follow my instructions carefully. Liam moved quickly but carefully, arranging the crystals according to her guidance. As he worked, he felt the energy of the crystals respond to his hands, amplifying their effect. Slowly, the illusions formed a shimmering landscape that confused the sensors of the approaching fleet. The ships scanned, tried to detect life, and then hesitated. Good, Zara said quietly. Now watch closely. They will begin to doubt what they see. Maintain focus. Any disruption in the energy flow could reveal us. Liam focused on keeping the crystals aligned. He noticed how the humans tried different strategies, scanning and adjusting their course. Yet the illusions worked. The fleet slowed, its movements cautious and uncertain. Liam felt a surge of relief. They had not used violence, but clever thought and harmony with the planet had protected the people below. Zara watched him with approval. You see the value of patience and observation, human. Strength is not always physical. Intelligence, respect, and understanding can achieve more than force alone. Hours passed, and the human fleet finally retreated. Liam could see the ships moving away, confused but unharmed, leaving the planet untouched. He breathed a sigh of relief. We did it, he said softly. Zara turned to him, her eyes thoughtful. Yes. But this is only one challenge. Humans are unpredictable. You must understand that trust is earned, but it can be fragile. Today, your actions help prevent a disaster, but tomorrow may be different. Always act with care, even when others do not. Liam nodded. I understand, Queen Zara. I am learning that patience, respect, and understanding are as important as courage and skill. Zara's expression softened slightly. You are beginning to understand, human. You have helped protect my world today, but remember, you are still an outsider. You must prove yourself with every action, in every task. That is how trust grows. Later, as they walked through the quiet palace halls, Liam felt a new respect for Zara. She was fierce and commanding, yet wise and protective. He realized that her anger and caution were not just her nature but her responsibility. She had the burden of safeguarding an entire world, and she took it seriously. Your people are remarkable, Liam said. You live in balance with the planet, and your methods protect life rather than destroy it. I wish humans could learn this lesson more quickly. Zara regarded him with a small nod. Perhaps some will, through example. You have shown that humans are capable of learning. That is why you are allowed to remain here. But never forget, your actions matter. The smallest choice can have consequences far beyond what you see. As the sun set over the crystal forests, Liam felt a mixture of exhaustion and pride. He had faced his first real challenge, working alongside Zara to protect the planet from his own people. The experience had shown him not only the power of the alien civilization but also the responsibility that came with knowledge and action. That night, Liam lay in his quarters, listening to the faint hum of the crystals outside. The planet felt alive around him, protective and aware. He realized that humanity had much to learn, and that perhaps, through cooperation and understanding, they could one day share knowledge with other worlds without causing harm. The sky above the crystal plains was calm, but the tension remained thick in the air. Liam stood beside Queen Zara, watching as the distant shapes of human ships glinted faintly against the horizon. They had retreated once, confused by the illusions created by the crystals, but Liam knew they could return. The humans were curious, determined, and sometimes reckless. Zara turned to him, her expression serious. Today, we must test their intentions further. They do not understand this world. They will try again, and we cannot allow harm to come to the crystals or my people. Liam nodded. What should I do? He asked. You will follow my instructions exactly, Zara said. We will defend without violence. That is our strength. Watch, think, and act carefully. One wrong move could reveal our location. Together, they moved to a high platform overlooking a wide valley where the crystals grew densely. Zara began arranging the large formations in patterns that amplified the energy of the crystals. Liam watched closely, learning how each crystal's placement could bend light, redirect sound, and create illusions of movement. It is like a puzzle, Liam said quietly. Zara smiled faintly. It is a puzzle, human. One that tests not only skill but patience, intelligence, and understanding of life itself. Do you understand why this is important? Yes, Queen Zara. The human ships may harm your people if we fail. We must use knowledge and strategy instead of force to protect them. Zara nodded, pleased with his response. Good. Then begin. Liam carefully moved the crystals as instructed. He felt the energy hum beneath his hands, responding to his actions. As he positioned them, the crystals amplified beams of light, creating moving patterns across the valley below. When the human ships scanned the area, the patterns made the valley appear empty, or sometimes full of phantom creatures that did not exist. The first human ship moved cautiously into the valley. Liam watched as its sensors flickered, confused by the illusions. Zara's voice guided him. Adjust the crystals to the left. Increase the light flow. Make them believe the terrain is shifting. Liam followed her directions. The crystals responded instantly, redirecting light and creating the illusion of moving hills and valleys. The human ship hesitated, scanning again, trying to understand what it was seeing. Liam realized how clever Zara's strategy was. They did not attack the fleet. They used intelligence and perception to protect life without harm. Hours passed, and the humans continued their approach, attempting to analyze the strange environment. Liam and Zara worked together, adjusting the crystal formations continuously. Every action required thought, observation, and coordination. Liam felt his mind sharpening. He had trained in human tactics before, but this was entirely different. It required understanding a world beyond his own, thinking in harmony with energy and life rather than relying on firepower. Good, Zara said after a particularly successful adjustment. Notice how they are responding. They hesitate now. They are learning uncertainty. That is our advantage. Observe and act carefully. Liam felt a sense of accomplishment. He realized that humans often relied on strength, speed, or technology, but Zara's people relied on understanding. The power of knowledge, patience, and strategy was far greater than force alone. He began to feel connected to the planet, as if he were part of the system Zara had created. Suddenly, a smaller human ship attempted to bypass the illusions. Liam noticed the movement and shouted a warning. Zara nodded, and together they adjusted the crystals to redirect the light, creating the image of a massive crystal barrier. The ship slowed, scanning repeatedly, unable to find a path through. Liam felt a thrill of success. They had defended the planet without firing a single shot. Zara glanced at him with approval. You are learning quickly, human. Few outsiders can adapt to the system so fast. Your mind works in harmony with the crystals, and that is rare. You may be one of the first humans I can trust. Liam felt pride and responsibility in equal measure. Thank you, Queen Zara. I only want to help your people and protect your world. I am learning more than I could have imagined. Hours passed, and the human fleet began to retreat again, frustrated and unable to penetrate the illusions. Liam and Zara observed their departure from the high platform, knowing that the humans would carry stories of strange lands, impossible crystals, and uncertain terrain back to Earth. Zara turned to Liam. Today, you have seen the difference between strength and wisdom. Humans rely on force, but knowledge, observation, and patience can achieve much more. You acted with intelligence and care. That is why I allowed you to participate directly. You have proven that humans are capable of more than I first believed. Liam nodded, humbled by her words. I understand now, Queen Zara. Power is not about weapons or speed. It is about understanding life, respecting it, and knowing the consequences of every action. Zara studied him silently for a moment. You are learning quickly, human. But remember, wisdom is never complete. Every day will bring new challenges. You must continue to watch, listen, and act with care. That is how you earn true trust and respect. After the fleet finally disappeared from view, Zara led Liam to a quiet chamber in the palace. The walls glowed with soft light, reflecting the energy of the crystals outside. Small creatures moved freely, unaffected by the recent events. Liam felt a sense of calm and accomplishment. You did well today, Zara said. You acted with patience, observation, and intelligence. These qualities are rare among humans, and you have shown that they can be cultivated. That is why I am willing to allow your presence here. But always remember, your actions have consequences. One mistake could undo all that we have achieved. Liam understood the gravity of her words. I will remember, Queen Zara. I will continue to learn and act carefully. I want to be worthy of your trust and your people's safety. Zara nodded approvingly. Tomorrow, you will learn more about the creatures and life forms of this planet. You will see how your actions affect not only the crystals but also the living beings who depend on them. Understanding life is the next step. You have proven yourself with strategy, but now you must connect with life itself. As the sun set over the crystal plains, Liam reflected on the day's events. He had helped defend the planet without violence, worked in harmony with Zara and the crystals, and learned lessons far beyond what he had imagined. He felt a new respect for Zara, not only as a ruler but as a teacher and guardian of a world far greater than his own. For the first time, he realized that humanity could learn from this world not just technology, but wisdom, patience, and the responsibility that came with power. Liam knew that his journey was far from over, but he also felt hope. Hope that humans and Zara's people could one day find understanding, respect, and perhaps friendship across the stars. Liam closed his eyes and listened to the hum of the crystals outside. The planet was alive, protective, and aware. He felt a deep connection to it and a determination to continue learning. He had survived his first true test alongside Zara and had begun to understand the strength that comes from knowledge, respect, and careful action. The morning sun rose slowly over the crystal plains, casting soft colors across the vibrant forests. Liam walked beside Queen Zara, carrying a small notebook where he recorded everything he learned about the crystals, the creatures, and the delicate balance of the planet. Today was different. Zara had said it was time for him to understand life in a deeper way, not just the crystals, but the beings that depended on them. Today, you will work directly with the creatures, Zara explained. You have shown intelligence and care in handling the crystals. Now, you must show respect and understanding for life itself. Each creature is connected to the energy of the planet. Their well-being depends on harmony with the crystals and with each other. Liam nodded, feeling both nervous and excited. He had helped small creatures during the storm and assisted with the crystals, but now he would see how life here truly interacted with energy. It was a step closer to understanding Zara's world fully. They arrived at a large meadow filled with glowing plants and crystal clusters. Tiny creatures, luminous and delicate, moved among the crystals, feeding and playing. Larger creatures roamed nearby, gentle but strong, watching the smaller ones. Liam felt a deep sense of awe. The creatures moved with grace and purpose. Every action seemed intentional, as if they were part of a great, living pattern. Zara gestured to a group of small creatures trapped near a crystal that had shifted during the night. Free them carefully. Do not rush. Their trust is earned through patience, not force. Liam approached slowly, extending his hands gently. The creatures hesitated, their glowing eyes watching him. He whispered soft words, more for his own calm than theirs, and lifted them one by one to safe areas. The energy of the crystals pulsed softly as he moved, almost like they were acknowledging his care. Good, Zara said quietly. Notice how the energy reacts to your actions. Life and crystals are connected. When you act with respect, the world responds. When you act carelessly, the balance is disturbed. Do you understand? Yes, Queen Zara, Liam replied. I see now that every choice affects everything. Even small actions can make a difference. Zara nodded. You are learning. That is why you are allowed to stay. Few outsiders can understand the responsibility of living in harmony with life. You are beginning to see the truth of our world. For the rest of the day, Liam worked with Zara, observing how creatures interacted with the crystals and with one another. He learned how some creatures relied on specific crystals for energy, while others depended on the plants or larger creatures for guidance. Each interaction was a lesson in patience and observation. Liam began to see patterns he had never noticed before. During a quiet moment, Liam spoke. Queen Zara, your people live in a way that humans rarely do. On Earth, we often act without understanding consequences. I see now how important it is to respect life, energy, and balance. I hope humanity can learn this someday. Zara studied him thoughtfully. Some humans may. But many must learn through experience. You have shown that it is possible. You have patience, intelligence, and courage. That is why I watch you closely. You are not like other outsiders. Perhaps you can become a bridge between our worlds. Liam felt a mix of pride and responsibility. I will do my best to learn and to show humans the right way to act. I want to help, not harm, Queen Zara. Then continue, Zara said. Observe, listen, and act with care. You will see how actions ripple through life and energy. Today you will understand more about balance than any book or lecture could teach you. As the sun reached its highest point, Liam noticed a disturbance in the forest. A group of creatures had wandered into a cluster of sharp crystals, unsure how to move without disturbing the energy. Liam acted carefully, guiding them with soft gestures and gentle words. The crystals seemed to pulse in response, amplifying his attention and careful movement. Zara watched silently, her expression thoughtful. You are learning to connect with life, human. This is difficult for many of your kind. You act with care and consideration. That is why you are beginning to earn my trust. By afternoon, Liam had spent hours observing, guiding, and protecting the creatures. He had learned to anticipate their movements, to understand their energy, and to see how every action created a ripple effect across the meadow. He realized that Zara's instructions were not just about the creatures or crystals, they were lessons about responsibility, empathy, and wisdom. During a break, Liam and Zara rested near a clear pool of water surrounded by luminous crystals. The creatures played nearby, moving freely and without fear. Liam marveled at the harmony of the scene. It is amazing how everything works together. Life, energy, crystals, they are all connected. I think I am beginning to understand what you have been teaching me. Zara nodded. Yes, human. Understanding is more than observation. It is feeling the consequences of every action, learning patience, and showing care for all life. You are progressing. Few humans would survive this long without making mistakes that disrupt balance. Liam smiled. I feel lucky to be here. You are an incredible teacher, Queen Zara. And your people, the crystals, and the creatures, they are all remarkable. I want to honor everything I have learned. Zara's eyes softened. That is good to hear. But remember, understanding is never complete. Every day brings new lessons. You must remain vigilant, patient, and respectful. Trust is fragile, and wisdom is earned continually. Do you understand? I understand completely, Liam said. I will continue to learn and act with care. As evening approached, Liam and Zara returned to the palace. The sun set behind the crystal forests, painting the sky with shades of gold, pink, and purple. Liam felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. He had worked closely with the creatures, learned about their lives, and seen how actions shaped the energy and balance of the planet. Zara stopped on a balcony overlooking the plains. Today, you have shown respect for life, patience with the creatures, and understanding of energy. You have earned more of my trust. Perhaps, one day, your people can learn from you as well. That is why I allowed you to stay. But remember, human, this is only the beginning. Understanding life and energy is an ongoing process. You must continue to act with care and respect. Liam nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Thank you, Queen Zara. I will continue to learn, and I will honor everything you have taught me. I hope to show humans that it is possible to respect life and act with responsibility. As night fell, Liam watched the stars above the crystal plains. He felt connected to the planet in a way he never had before. He understood that life, energy, and balance were inseparable, and that wisdom came from observation, patience, and care. He knew his journey was far from over, but he also knew that he was beginning to earn the trust of Queen Zara and her people. For the first time, he felt that humans might have a chance to build understanding and cooperation across worlds. He closed his eyes, listening to the gentle hum of the crystals and the quiet movements of the creatures nearby. He felt hope, determination, and a deep respect for life itself. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and lessons. But Liam was ready. He had begun to understand the true meaning of harmony, responsibility, and the strength that comes from empathy and intelligence. The morning light spread across the crystal plains, illuminating the delicate forests and shimmering energy streams. Liam stood beside Queen Zara, feeling a quiet excitement in the air. Today would be the test of everything he had learned, the ultimate opportunity to prove his understanding of life, energy, and responsibility. Zara turned to him, her expression calm but determined. Liam, the humans who came before have returned. This time, they are more cautious, but they also carry greater curiosity and stronger technology. You must act with everything you have learned. Use patience, observation, and understanding. Violence is not the answer. Protect life and maintain harmony. Liam nodded. I understand, Queen Zara. I will follow your guidance. Together, they moved to the high observation platform. The distant fleet hovered at the edge of the atmosphere, scanning and probing with sophisticated sensors. The humans were unaware of the planet's delicate balance, but Liam could sense the danger they posed. He also understood the power of Zara's methods, strategy, intelligence, and respect for life. Zara gestured toward a series of large crystals arranged strategically along the plains. These will help create illusions and redirect attention. You will assist me in maintaining the flow. Every placement matters. Watch closely and act only when necessary. Liam moved carefully, adjusting crystals to redirect light, bending energy to create shifting images across the plains. The humans scanned repeatedly, uncertain of what they saw. Some ships hovered over the crystal forests, attempting to detect life, but the illusions worked perfectly. Hills appeared to move, creatures seemed to multiply, and pathways vanished. The fleet was cautious, confused, and unable to distinguish reality from illusion. Excellent, Zara said quietly. You have learned to act with precision and care. Observe how your choices influence the situation. Each decision matters. This is not a battle of weapons but of understanding. Hours passed as they worked together. Liam noticed the humans attempting new strategies, testing the limits of the illusions. He adjusted crystals, redirected light, and maintained the energy flow. The small creatures in the meadows moved freely, unharmed, as the energy of the crystals responded to Liam and Zara's actions. "Notice, Liam," Zara said, "how even the smallest movement affects the balance. Life and energy are connected. Humans often fail to see this. That is why they risk destruction without understanding. You have learned to respect this connection. Today, you protect not only your lives but theirs as well." Liam felt a deep sense of pride and responsibility. He realized that humans could learn from Zara's people, if only they acted with patience and respect. The humans continued to hover cautiously, scanning the forests, but none dared to enter. They were beginning to understand, even if only subconsciously, that this world was alive and defended in ways beyond their comprehension. As the day progressed, Liam and Zara worked in harmony. He guided smaller crystals, adjusted beams of light, and observed patterns of movement among the creatures. Zara watched him closely, offering subtle corrections and guidance. He could feel the trust between them growing stronger. "Liam," Zara said after a long moment, "you have proven that humans are capable of wisdom, patience, and respect. You acted with intelligence and care. You have defended life without harming a single being. That is remarkable." "I have learned from you, Queen Zara," Liam replied. "You taught me that strength is not only physical. True strength comes from understanding, respect, and careful action." Zara's eyes softened slightly. "Yes. That is why I allowed you to stay. You are beginning to understand the principles that govern my world. But this understanding must continue. Life, energy, and balance are constant. They require attention every day. Never forget that, human." By late afternoon, the human fleet began to retreat once more, unable to find a path through the illusions and protective energy fields. Liam watched as their ships moved back into space, leaving the planet untouched. A sense of relief and satisfaction filled him. They had succeeded without violence, using knowledge, patience, and care. Zara turned to him, her expression proud. "You have done well, Liam. Today, you acted with wisdom and respect. You have earned more of my trust. Perhaps, one day, humans can learn to act with understanding and responsibility. You have shown that it is possible." Liam felt a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you, Queen Zara. I will continue to learn and honor everything you have taught me. I hope to share this understanding with my people, so they may respect life as we do here." Zara nodded. "That is a noble goal, human. But remember, understanding takes time. Change is gradual. You must continue to observe, act carefully, and grow in knowledge. Only then can you influence others positively." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of gold, pink, and violet, Liam and Zara walked through the crystal gardens. The creatures moved freely, playing and interacting without fear. The planet seemed alive, vibrant, and harmonious. Liam felt connected to this world in a way he had never felt before. "You have come far, Liam," Zara said quietly. "You have learned patience, wisdom, and the importance of respect. You have acted with care and intelligence. Today, you protected life and energy without force. That is a rare achievement for any outsider." "I am grateful for your guidance, Queen Zara," Liam replied. "You have shown me a new way to see the universe. I hope humanity can learn to respect life, energy, and balance as you have taught me." Zara smiled faintly, a rare expression for the fierce queen. "Perhaps they will, human. Perhaps they will. You have shown that humans can learn, but the lesson must spread through patience, observation, and understanding. That is the path to true strength." As night fell, the stars above the crystal plains twinkled brightly. Liam looked up, feeling hope and determination. He knew that his journey was only beginning. The bond he had formed with Zara, the understanding he had gained of life and energy, and the lessons learned from protecting the planet were gifts he would carry forever. Liam closed his eyes and listened to the hum of the crystals and the quiet movements of the creatures. He felt a deep sense of harmony with the world around him. For the first time, he believed that humans and Zara's people could coexist, learn from each other, and perhaps one day work together to explore and protect the universe. The planet was alive, vibrant, and safe. Zara's trust in him had grown, and his respect for her people had deepened. Liam understood that strength was not measured by weapons or force, but by wisdom, care, and the willingness to protect life. And in that moment, he felt hope not only for himself but for humanity. A hope that one day, humans could learn to act with patience, respect, and understanding, becoming allies rather than destroyers in the vast universe. Liam knew that the lessons he had learned here would guide him forever. He had faced storms, danger, and challenges, yet he had survived by respecting life, listening, and acting with care. The bond between him and Queen Zara, built on trust and understanding, was now unbreakable. As the stars reflected in the crystal forests, Liam felt a quiet determination. He would continue to learn, grow, and share this knowledge with others. He understood that the universe was vast, full of life and energy, and that every action mattered. And for the first time, Liam truly believed that humans could rise to meet the challenge of respecting life beyond their own world. With courage, intelligence, and respect, they could become allies, protectors, and learners in a universe full of wonder and harmony. The crystal plains glowed under the night sky, alive and vibrant, a testament to the power of understanding, patience, and the bond between two very different worlds. Liam and Zara stood together, ready to face the future, guided by wisdom and hope.